Today, we're going to delve into a social issue that's becoming more and more prominent in China. The phenomenon of older, single women, sometimes called leftover women, who face enormous challenges in finding a life partner. This story isn't just about personal struggles. It reflects profound shifts in the social, economic, and ideological structures of this nation of over 1 billion people. Social stigmas and pressures are weighing heavily on these women. Many people assume that independent, successful women have high standards, are too picky, or are even too intimidating for men. But is that the whole story? And what's really going on behind these difficult journeys to the altar? In modern society, especially in China's major cities, the concepts of marriage and family happiness are undergoing a deep transformation. As the economy has grown, women have had more access to higher education and better careers. As a result, they've begun to redefine their own self-worth and their role in a relationship. This has led to a reality where they are no longer willing to accept a marriage just for the sake of having a husband. Instead, they're looking for a partner who is a true equal in every respect. We begin with the story of a 29-year-old woman in Nanjing, who is striking in her appearance and has a unique perspective on marriage. She doesn't ask for a house, a car, or a bride price. She's even willing to provide 200,000 yuan as a dowry. Her only hope is to find an honest man who won't deceive her. This viewpoint, while praised by many online, raises a question. Does being flexible on material things really help women find happiness? Or is it just a sign of frustration with the pressure to get married once you've reached a certain age? Many young women today, whether due to family circumstances or personal ambition, have spent their entire youth working hard to get ahead. Take the case of a woman from Inner Mongolia, who worked tirelessly to pay off a 300,000 yuan debt left by her late father. When financial burdens are that heavy, marriage can seem like a luxury, a goal that has to be put on hold. By the time things have stabilized, they realize they've passed the age that society considers ideal for starting a family. The sad reality is that the marriage market is changing at a rapid pace. Especially in big cities like Beijing, women are becoming more proactive in their search for a partner. The quality men are already married off early, and the ones who are left are quickly snatched up by sharp, savvy women. This leaves women who are a little slower to the game, even if they have perfectly normal circumstances, struggling to find a suitable match. So why are there so many older women today choosing to remain single instead of getting married? Is it because they're pursuing personal freedom, focusing on their careers and personal passions, or is it simply because they can't find the right partner? Does the pressure from family and society wear them down, or has their independence brought them more joy and comfort than a marriage could? What do you think is the real reason more and more older women aren't marrying, and is this a choice to be respected or a situation to be concerned about? However, not all older single women are willing to settle. A large portion of financially independent women choose to stay single rather than accept a marriage that doesn't meet their expectations. They see it as a lifestyle choice, an expression of personal freedom. For them, it's better to be happy and single than married and miserable. A 37-year-old woman shared her thoughts on the matter. She said people often compare older single women to leftover vegetables at the end of the market day, but in reality, they are the ones who worry about it the most. She and her group of friends, all successful, highly educated women, constantly ask themselves, are we asking for too much? Should we lower our standards just to find someone? What's surprising is that many men feel overwhelmed by the independence and knowledge of these women. They say women like this know too much, are hard to fool, and even express a wish that women would spend less time on their careers, focus more on the family, and be more obedient. This raises a big question. Is women's financial and emotional independence becoming a barrier to finding a life partner? Another common issue for older single women is that they often have very high standards. Even if they like someone, they might maintain an aloof attitude, waiting for the man to pursue them. But the men they meet at these matchmaking events usually have a clear goal: marriage. They lose patience quickly and won't put in a lot of effort in a long courtship. If they feel it's not a good fit, they'll move on to the next person immediately. A 38-year-old woman put it bluntly, "We're not against marriage, and we really do want to get married. We just don't want to marry someone we don't love, but we can't seem to find someone suitable who loves us and wants to marry us." Choosing to be single is a personal right, and they accept the loneliness that comes with that choice. What's important is that no one has the right to insult or criticize them for it. She realized a harsh truth. At these events, beautiful women are always the center of attention, regardless of their job or income. Beauty, it seems, is the real currency in the matchmaking market. This reflects a sad reality. Despite societal progress, traditional values about physical appearance still hold a powerful sway in the search for a partner. According to China's 7th National Census in 2021, there are 34.9 million more men than women in the total population. For men in the prime marrying age of 20 to 40, that gap is over 17 million. Statistically, there should be far more single men than single women. So why are so many women still single? The reason is that the quality men don't need to go on blind dates, and they don't show up in matchmaking circles. Women find them and hold on to them quickly. Meanwhile, the less desirable men, especially low-income men from rural areas, have even fewer chances to get married. They don't attend matchmaking events because they're afraid of the humiliation. Given the high expectations from women, even if they did show up, no one would be interested. So, they'd rather just stay home and play on their phones. On top of that, the number of women receiving higher education is now greater than that of men. In 2024, 52.5% of university students were female. This rise in women's education levels has changed traditional views on marriage. Educated urban women are often financially independent and place more emphasis on a partner's overall qualities, like their education, income, and life values, rather than just financial security. This leads to higher standards for potential partners, which in turn makes those high-quality men an even scarcer commodity. The result is a paradox. High-quality men are highly sought after, while high-quality women become too selective, unwilling to settle for someone they see as beneath them. The widening social gap between educated urban women and low-income rural men also makes it much harder to bridge the divide through matchmaking. The story of a 38-year-old woman in Shaanxi, who went on 80 different arranged dates without success, is a case in point. She was a typical rural girl, but after going to college, her outlook on life changed. In her 20s, she was pretty, had a quiet personality, and didn't want to rush into a relationship. She was always waiting for the ideal partner. After graduating, her friends were getting married and having kids, while she let her best years slip by. Once she started working, she found some of the men she met to be unattractive, stingy, and unwilling to spend money on her. Her parents grew worried and urged her to find someone from her hometown and get married quickly. But she didn't take it seriously. As the only college-educated woman from her village, she still felt a sense of pride and wouldn't settle. She never expected that after 30, a woman's appearance and physical condition would decline so quickly. Now, with the economic downturn, she can't even afford to stay in the big city. She finally faced reality and started going on blind dates, hoping just to find a companion. She met over 80 men, from teachers and programmers to divorced business owners, but every attempt failed. Her first date, with an engineer her age, left her deeply hurt when he told her bluntly, "To be honest, you're too old to have children, and you want a 180,000 yuan bride price. That's too high." Her pride was crushed, and the date ended in less than 10 minutes. But that was just the beginning. She kept going on dates, encountering all sorts of opinions. Some criticized her age, others said she wasn't attractive enough, and a few pointed out that she didn't have a house, a car, or any savings. But she didn't give up and continued her search for love. On another date, she traveled to Xi'an to meet a 45-year-old divorced high school teacher. Things seemed to be going well until the man said flatly, "You have a nice personality, but you're a bit too old. I don't need someone to take care of my family." She was disappointed yet again. Even divorced men didn't want her. But after so many rejections, she's grown numb to the pain. She shared her experience on social media out of helplessness. Another blind date failed. "I don't get why men are so picky now. I'm 7 years younger than him, and he thinks I'm too old. He must be crazy. Anyway, I'll keep going on dates. I believe the one who will love me is still out there waiting." As a college-educated woman from a rural background, her education opened her up to city life and new values. It also changed her sense of self and her expectations for her life. Even now, having lowered her standards, she still can't bring herself to accept an older, single man from a rural area. That's because they don't meet her minimum requirements for economic stability or quality of life, and their values are often incompatible. In contemporary Chinese society, compared to older single women, older single men are in a much more pitiable situation. Simply put, older single women are often single because they're too selective and unwilling to marry down, whereas older single men want to get married but simply can't find anyone. They are involuntarily single. It's worth noting that long-term singlehood can lead to feelings of loneliness, low self-esteem, and even anger in men, increasing the risk of mental health problems. In extreme cases, some express their frustration through irrational behavior. Studies have shown that single men are disproportionately represented in crime statistics, and with the ongoing economic downturn, as they struggle to make a living, they pose a threat to social stability. This is the harsh reality of China's marriage market, and it represents a fundamental societal problem that remains difficult to solve. And perhaps, this is a moment when we need to take a deeper look at the values, the prejudices, and the expectations that society places on single people, especially on its older, single women.